हेलो दोस्तों, नमस्कार एंड वेलकम टू माय चैनल स्टडी विद सृजन। दिस इज़ मी सृजन पांडे ऑफ गोरखपुर, उत्तर प्रदेश, इंडिया। दोस्तों, स्टडी विद सृजन चैनल मैंने 10th क्लास की एजुकेशन देने के लिए बनाया है। तो बिफोर वी स्टार्ट आवर डिस्कशन रिलेटेड टू आवर चैप्टर, we will move towards the course structure of the subject we are going to study. So let's continue our discussion. So friends, हम अपने 10th क्लास की लर्निंग जर्नी मैथमेटिक्स से शुरू करेंगे। तो मैथमेटिक्स का चैप्टर फर्स्ट पढ़ने से पहले हमें मैथमेटिक्स का कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर जानना होगा, ताकि हमें ये पता चले कि हमें कितने चैप्टर्स पढ़ने हैं। तो बेसिकली दोस्तों, मैथमेटिक्स का कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर में आपको 7 यूनिट्स मिलेंगे। 7 यूनिट्स हैं कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर में मैथमेटिक्स के, और 7 यूनिट्स के अंदर 15 चैप्टर्स हैं। तो व्हाइट बोर्ड पर शुरुआत के 3 यूनिट्स लिखे हुए हैं और चैप्टर नंबर लिखा हुआ है। आप एक बार उन्हें देखिए, फिर मैं आपको सब बताता हूँ। सो फ्रेंड्स, आप देख सकते हैं पहला यूनिट है नंबर सिस्टम्स। उसके अंदर पहला चैप्टर आता है, चैप्टर फर्स्ट, रियल नंबर्स। दूसरा यूनिट है अलजेब्रा, वो मैथमेटिक्स के कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर का सबसे बड़ा यूनिट है। इसमें 4 चैप्टर्स आते हैं। चैप्टर 2 पॉलिनोमियल्स, चैप्टर 3 लीनियर इक्वेशंस इन 2 वेरिएबल, चैप्टर 4 क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशंस एंड चैप्टर 5 अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशंस। यूनिट 3 कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री, चैप्टर 7 कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री। इसके अंदर चैप्टर 7 कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री आता है। दोस्तों, ये भले ही सीरियल वाइज ना हो, लेकिन हम इसे सीरियल वाइज पढ़ेंगे। मैंने इसे आपको सिर्फ मैथमेटिक्स का कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर समझाने के लिए ये आपको डेटा दिया, लेकिन हम पढ़ेंगे सीरियल वाइज। 5 के बाद सीधे 7 चैप्टर नहीं पढ़ेंगे, 6, 5, 6, 7 ऐसे करके सीरियल वाइज चलेगा सब। तो इतना आपको पता चला। अब आगे के 4 यूनिट मैं आपको बताऊंगा। सो फ्रेंड्स, बाकी के 3 यूनिट्स ये आपके सामने हैं। आपका 4th यूनिट है ज्योमेट्री। इसके अंदर 3 चैप्टर्स आते हैं। चैप्टर 6 है ट्रायंगल्स, चैप्टर 10 है सर्कल्स और चैप्टर 11 कंस्ट्रक्शंस। तो ये 3 चैप्टर ज्योमेट्री सेक्शन के अंदर आते हैं। यूनिट 5th है ट्रिग्नोमेट्री, चैप्टर 8 इंट्रोडक्शन टू ट्रिग्नोमेट्री एंड चैप्टर 9 हाइट्स एंड डिस्टेंसेस, जिसका दूसरा नाम है सम एप्लीकेशंस ऑफ ट्रिग्नोमेट्री। यूनिट 6 है आपका मेंसुरेशन। इसमें 2 चैप्टर आते हैं, एरियाज रिलेटेड टू सर्कल्स और चैप्टर 13 सरफेस एरियाज एंड वॉल्यूम। लास्ट यूनिट है आपका यूनिट 7, जिसका नाम है स्टैटिक्स एंड प्रोबेबिलिटी। इसमें आपका चैप्टर 14 स्टैटिक्स और चैप्टर 15 प्रोबेबिलिटी आता है। तो दोस्तों, आपका इसी के साथ कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर खत्म हुआ। इतना ही आपको पढ़ना है सिलेबस में। तो अब आप जान चुके हैं आपको क्या पढ़ना है। तो अब मैं सेशन स्टार्ट करके आपको मैथमेटिक्स का चैप्टर फर्स्ट पढ़ाना शुरू कर सकता हूँ। सो लेट्स कंटिन्यू आवर जर्नी ऑफ मैथमेटिक्स चैप्टर विद चैप्टर 1 रियल नंबर्स। So friends, let's start our discussion on chapter first of mathematics, that is real numbers. Friends, before we actually come on the topics of this chapter, let me give you an overview of this chapter, that what we will learn in this chapter, and we will start with introduction. Friends, we are playing with numbers since a long time when we come to school and study. Since then only we have started playing with numbers. We started from counting the numbers, taking the percentage, and so on, so on, so on. This is an endless process, and this will continue in this class 10 also. So in first chapter, we will learn what is Euclid division lemma. Next, we will learn what is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Next, we will learn how to find HCF of two numbers or three numbers by division process using Euclid division algorithm. Next, we will revisit irrational number, and irrational number like root 2, root 3, root 5, 5 minus root 3 will be proven irrational by us. And next thing, we will learn how to judge without actually dividing that a rational number will recur or it will terminate, and if it will terminate, after how many decimal places it will terminate. A new thing which we will learn in this chapter is to find HCF and LCM of fractions. So this was only was the overview. So overview is finished, introduction is finished. Now let's continue our discussion further. Let's start the first topic of this chapter, which is Euclid's division lemma. Friends, this name is new, but the funda behind this name, this statement is actually known to you in previous classes. Friends, since the time we have started dividing the numbers, we have learned a simple equation: dividend is equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Right? Only this statement has been modified by Mr. Euclid, and this equation has been modified by Mr. Euclid, and with a statement, this equation is known as Euclid's division lemma. So what is that statement? That statement is, given two positive integers a and b, and there exist two unique integers q and r, such that a equal to bq plus r. Somewhat sounds like dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Same pattern by a equal to bq plus r and dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So the funda is same, but it is expressed with the statement. Now next thing is, can you think of what will be the values of r? Can you think of a range in which the r's value will change? We know that a can be greater than b, q can be greater than b, but can r be greater than b? Let's take an example to understand this. Friends, look at these two equations. Can you say that these are right? No, these are not right. Why? Because 7 can be expressed like this. It is correct that this will result up in 7, but 2 has a number 6 which can also divide this number. It is the highest number which can divide 7, leaving a remainder 1. So when there is 6 here, how can we use 4 in place of 6 if we have the highest number? Similarly, in this case, we took 19, but it is wrong because we have a highest multiple 80, through which we can divide 83, leaving the remainder 3. So in case the remainder is greater than b. But if we took 4 here, 2 into 3, and we took 4 into 20, the remainder will be less than 2, and 4 means less than b. So what we conclude is that b is always greater than r, or in other words, r is strictly less than b in any case. We are taking the case of positive integers only. So in the case of positive integers, r is strictly less than b, and r can be 0 also. When there is a number which exactly divides another number, then r can be 0 also. So the range we get of r is that r is either greater than or equal to 0. 0 is either greater than or equal to r, and r is less than b. So this completes the statement of Euclid's division lemma, that given positive integers a and b, and there exist unique integers q and r such that a equal to bq plus r, where r is greater than or equal to 0 and r is less than b. So the statement I am writing on the whiteboard. If you want, you may note it. So friend, this is the definition of Euclid's division lemma which I had told you. So you can note it down. This definition is of NCERT book. You can take it from there also. So friends, we have learned about Euclid division lemma. Now next thing is, there is another word also which is Euclid division algorithm. So what is that? Is it different from Euclid division lemma? Friends, it is absolutely same as Euclid division lemma. First we understand literally what is lemma and algorithm mean. What does they mean? So lemma means a provement statement which is used to prove another statement. In mathematics, the statement is said to be equation, and in other words, this statement is like a lemma is a proved equation, a proven equation which is used to prove another equations. Whereas algorithm is a well-defined manner to use lemma to prove other equations. So statement of lemma and algorithm is same. Literally meaning is different, but all what you have to do is same with lemma and algorithm. So if question comes with lemma or algorithm, same process is done. There should be no confusion regarding what is lemma and what is algorithm. So friends, definition of algorithm is simple. It says that there exists positive integer a which can be divided by another positive integer b, giving q as quotient and r as remainder. And this range of r, where r is greater than or equal to 0 and r is less than b. So same definition. So this was the only definition. No need to write the definition of algorithm. Algorithm is just a way to use lemma. Now next topic of discussion is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Let's further continue our discussion and know what is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So friends, our next topic is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Friends, I am going to explain the definition which is written on the whiteboard. So friends, according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, every composite number can be expressed as the product of prime numbers in their exponential powered form. Every composite number can be expressed as prime numbers, and this factorization of each and every prime composite number is unique from other numbers. Means that if a number has a prime factorization such as 2 into 3 to the power 4, so this factorization of 2 into 3 to the power 4, say it is of a number x. So this factorization of x is equal to 2 into 3 to the power 4 can't be applied to any other number than x. This was this statement says. Now next thing is it is apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. Means that if there is two numbers and their prime factorization is like this, 2 into 3 into 5 into 7, and next one is like that, 2 into 2, 2 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 2 into 5 to the power 2 into 11 into 7 to the power 3. So friends, order of the prime numbers is same, but these both factorization are unique. They are not same and can't be applied to any number. If they are of numbers say x and y respectively, they can be applied to only x and y. No number other than x and y can get the prime factorization which I have explained to you. That is 2 into 3 into 5 into 7 of x, and y equal to 2 into the power 2 into 3 to the power 2 into 5 to the power 2 into 7 to the power 3. So x and y can only be fit in this prime factorization, and this prime factorization is not valid for any number other than x and y. Even in both of them, we can't interchange their prime factorization, because they are valid for x. Prime factorization is only valid for x only, and y is for y only. So this was our prime factorization. So this is the definition, the NCERT definition of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. And this was the last topic of this session. So we have completed our session first. Now I am going to end this session at this point. In the next session, we will solve some problems related to these two topics only. So friends, अब ये सेशन हम यहीं खत्म करते हैं. चैनल को लाइक करिएगा, शेयर करिएगा, आप कमेंट करें तो सब्सक्राइब करके बेल नोटिफिकेशन ऑन कर दीजिएगा. Till then, stay safe, keep learning. This is me, Srijan Pandey, signing off. Jai Hind.